I'm a little conflicted on this one. Hey there, folks. I am the Mighty Plantain, and let me tell you why I'm conflicted. This is Mas Agave from Founders. Now, it is an imperial lime goza style ale brewed with agave aged in tequila barrels. Now, on the one hand, I'm a huge fan of Founders barrel aged brews. On the other hand, not a big fan of tequila. Don't get me wrong. If it's the only thing in the house, I will drink it. But it has that tequila ick. And I don't care if you're looking at El Toro. That's that bottom shelf shit with the little red plastic sombrero on the cap. Or all the way up to Patron, Cabo Wabo, Jose Cuervo, the big one. They all have that follow-up taste, that tequila ick. Now, I found the top shelf ones are way more tolerable. Like I said, Jose, Cabo Wabo, Patron especially. They've got more smoothness, but every single one, even the most expensive tequila on the market. Well, okay, I don't know about the most expensive tequila on the market. The most expensive tequila in my experience has been the Patron, and it has been the smoothest. It still has that hint of tequila ick after you drink it. And there's no other way to describe it. You know what tequila tastes like. That's that aftertaste. Maybe you like it, but if you don't, you'll think I'm 100% accurate in calling it an ick. So, aged in tequila barrels. I've had some beers aged in tequila barrels that worked out good, some not so good. I've had some beers aged on tequila barrel staves. Basically, they take the wooden staves from the tequila barrels and they age the beer on that in whatever vessel instead of in the barrel itself. That works out better in my taste than the full-on barrel. On the barrels that I do like bourbon barrels, whiskey barrels, aging on staves gives it a less potent flavor from the wood and everything. So that makes sense that I would like the staves better than the barrel when it comes to tequila. But I do prefer the barrel to the staves when it comes to bourbon or whiskey or anything else, rum. Anyway, I've digressed enough here. We're talking about Founders Mas Agave, which was aged in tequila barrels, but an imperial lime goza style ale. Now, I've had lime infused beers, I've had goza styles. I've never had an imperial goza, much less an imperial goza. And I know I'm pronouncing it goza, goze, goose. There's probably 50 different ways to pronounce it. Hit me up in the comments, the email link down below. Tell me how I'm fucking it up and how it should be pronounced, because I think I'll get 50 different responses. No, I'll probably get about 30 different responses, because only about 30 people are going to watch this video, because that's about my average. Sorry, I've had a few drinks before this, so drinking a 10% ABV beer is probably a mistake at this point in the evening, but I'm running off at the mouth a little bit. Hope you excuse me for that. But anyway, yeah. Let me know what you think down there about tequila barrels, how I'm pronouncing goza. Anything. I welcome criticism. I might not pay attention to it, but I welcome it. I do pay attention to some of your criticisms, though. Again, I'm running off the mouth. Let's get back to the beer. Mas Agave, Imperial Lime Goza Style Ale, brewed with agave. That's important, because agave is... it's a type of fruit. Anyway, it's better than the cactus crap that a lot of people associate with cheap tequilas. Aged in tequila barrels. It's Founders. I mean, how bad can it be, right? I think part of my digression there is just trying to put off tasting the beer, because the whole tequila angle has me on the defense. Well, it's darker than I expected. Now, just for the record, roasted agave produces a better tequila. Again, I'm not a big tequila fan, but I will say anything that uses roasted agave produces a better tequila for me, flavor-wise, than a non-roasted. And I don't know if that's what I'm seeing here, but if they brewed it with agave, it may be a roasted version. It's slightly hazy. It does have an interesting golden brown color, much like roasted agave itself. Hey, want to see something really cool? I'm digressing again. Watch the how it's made video on tequila. They'll show you the knives, the specialized knives, there's a name for them, that they use to cut the agave plants and skin them, and also the roasting process. It's actually interesting. All right. Anyway, it has a nice golden brown roasted color to it. It is slightly hazy, not too effervescent. There might be some particulates in there that are causing the haziness. I think there's a few floating particulates, but most of that's just a haziness to the liquid itself. Good number of bubbles coming up from that nucleation point in the bottom of the glass, but it's not replenishing the head, so it's slightly effervescent. But I do like the color. I really do. It looks thick. It looks, it's honey. It's like a dark honey color. Kind of a neutral aroma. I'm getting hints of lime. Possibly a little saltiness. Definitely lime. I think I'm getting saltiness, but the lime might be triggering me to think of saltiness in terms of margaritas, but definitely lime. And I'm getting hints of saltiness. Whether it's actually there or not, who knows. Beautiful colored beer. The aroma's quite pleasant. And again, I'm stalling. It's the tequila angle. I don't know. It's like I'm bound and determined not to like anything associated with tequila. But I've been surprised by some beers that were aged on tequila staves before. I mentioned that earlier. Whoa. That is a complex brew. I will say that. Up front, I'm definitely getting like the Saragossa style ale. Ale, right? Told you I'd had a few drinks before. But seriously, up front, I'm getting the Saragossa style ale for sure. And then I'm certainly getting the citrusy lime flavor. Absolutely some saltiness after that. So sour, Saragossa flavor first, because the sourness of the lime is a different kind of sour. You know what I'm talking about if you've done a lot of stuff like this. But then I'm getting some roasted, like toasty barrel, slightly woody notes, and then salty. I am definitely tasting the salt. So I don't know if there's salt added or if there's anything in here that should be salty, but I am definitely getting that as a separate flavor from everything else. So it's real, and I'm not just imagining it. In the finish, though, in the first couple of sips, I was definitely getting that tequila ick. I'm still getting it, but it's like on the back of my palate and on the back of my tongue in the finish. It's not after I swallow the beer. There's a little bit of hesitation. Pardon. There's a little bit of a delay. It's like finish to the finish. Because in the actual finish, I'm getting more of everything else. But then a couple of seconds after the finish hits, and getting that tequila ick. So it's definitely there. And me personally being a fan of tequila, it's causing this beer. Personally not being a fan of tequila. I like its effects, but I don't like its taste. It's definitely losing some points for me for that. And that's a personal preference. We all know beer tastes are subjective. So for me, I'm hitting this with a 3.5 out of 5. I suspect a lot of folks would rate it higher though. And I'm not a big fan of that tequila flavor, that tequila ick, and I am getting it like in the sub finish, and it just ruins everything else for me. I think if I wasn't getting that tequila ick, I would hit this with a 4, maybe a 4.5, because it's different. It's unique. It's something I haven't tasted before. But just that few seconds after the finish hits, I can't get past that. I'm hitting with a 3.5. And the reason I'm harping on this, I've been way too talkative in this video already. Again, that's an after effect of being more than buzzed. Let's say that. Let's just say I'm probably inebriated. Yeah, I'm inebriated. Let's just be honest about it. Anyway, way too talkative, way too descriptive, way too many excuses. But my point is that a lot of other people would probably hit this with a higher number. But again, as I said before, beer taste is subjective. For me, I'm not enjoying this as much as I would like for a barrel-aged beer from Founders, but I do respect the different flavoring. I understand there's a lot of effort went into this beer. So that's why I'm hitting it with a 3.5, even though if I'm being honest, I'm not enjoying it that much. But I have to respect the effort that went into the beer. I have to respect the flavors that are there. And if it wasn't for that one factor, that tequila ick, I'd be hitting this with a higher rating, but I am not personally enjoying it. So it's at a 3.5 out of 5. I bet a lot of people, especially people who actually like tequila, would rate this higher. So I know I'm just justifying here the lower rating because I feel bad giving it based on what I know went into this beer for effort, based on the complexity of the beer. It should be rated higher, but my personal flavor preference, my personal liking, brings it down to that 3.5. But that's just what I have to say about it. I'd love to hear what you have to say about it because, again, I think it deserves a higher rating, but based on my preference, I'm rating it at 3.5, which is, again, on a scale of 1 to 5, a 2.5 is average, so 3.5 is actually a fairly above average beer. So I'm giving it credit. But I want to hear what you have to say about it, especially you tequila folks. You folks that like tequila, let me know what you have to say about the beer. Hit me up down in the comments and the email link down below. While you're down there, don't forget to like and share the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Till next time, folks. Cheers. And I am going to finish it. I know, I keep making excuses for the rating. But, like I said, if I believe that beer taste is subjective, I have to stand behind my rating because it's based on what I like.